Today, I've travelled hundreds of miles to Leeds to meet a friend, a property entrepreneur and colleague, Karl. Over the past 9 years, Karl has successfully scaled his own portfolio and been able to leave his own day job. Alongside his own property endeavours, he helps other investors grow and scale their portfolio too. And today, we're going to get into how he started, how he scaled his portfolio, and what key tips he has for people just starting out. So Karl, thanks for inviting us up to some of your properties that you're managing today. I just did a brief introduction to you outside. Got a few questions for you over the day today as we're going to take a tour around some of these properties. First one for you is, how did you get started and how did you get that first property across the line?
So we started by building up a bit of funds, and I decided to start investing my funds, and I didn't know where to start. So then I did some research and I realised property is where you should be investing. So then I reached out to my brothers, and only one of my brothers came back to me and said, I'll jump in with you and I'll go on this journey with you. So then we managed to buy a first house, didn't know anything, bought it, didn't do any refurb on it, and we had to wait about 4 years for our money to recycle. But then after 4 years, we got to go again, and then we could do it every 2 years then, and we've been building properties faster and faster.
So that first property, what sort of property was that? What sort of project was it? Was it just a standard buy-to-let or?
So the first property was round the corner from where I lived because I wanted it to be local, and it was the same style house of mine. So I just wanted to go in there and know what I was dealing with. Yeah, we put liquor paint on the walls, and I think that was it.
Cheap tat up, job done.
Yeah, because we didn't know anything, and it was livable. There was people living in there when we purchased it, and we just wanted to go in there and just make sure it looked half decent and just rent it out straight away.
Cool. So as you grew and scaled your own portfolio, you then took it to the next level and built a business alongside that. Yep. You now help investors build their own portfolios completely hands-free, just like this property that we're in now.
Yeah, so I got myself educated after I bought my second house with my brother, and I realised that we could scale faster and found out that we could turn it into a business and help other people. So we sat down with my brother and we realised that this is our new goal. And since we've now built our own portfolio, now we've quit our jobs and now we've got time to help our clients. So we can sit down with our clients, make sure that we find them the right property and help them build their own portfolio as well.
We see tons of comments of people saying that you don't need a property sourcer, someone that finds you a property to invest in. Anyone can have that job. What would you say to them kinds of people?
Yes, you can do it yourself, but also there's a lot of hiccups, and it's better to learn from somebody who's done that. We help busy professionals, so it's them kind of people that don't have the time to do a renovation. So I can get my build team in here and we can project manage it from start to finish and hand it over to a local letting agent, so it's all hands-free for them.
So the main thing you're saving is people's time, because they might not have the time themselves, and you're saving them money from the mistakes they might make because you're the professional helping them with that project.
It's not just about saving money, it's saving time as well. But we've built a knowledge based around us, around people that we've worked closely with. So we've got the trades team in there. We've also got local letting agents, estate agents that we work closely with. Just had a phone call with them and they are introducing me to a property. I'll be the first person to take a look at this property to see if we can purchase it for our portfolio. And if we don't have the time and funds to do that, we can pass it on to a client as well.
What sort of properties are you typically finding for these clients?
So I would sit down with my clients and get an understanding of what they want throughout the long term. And this client in particular, he wanted a property close to amenities. He wanted a low entry point and with room to grow. And I found this property for my client. He got this agreed at 105. The refurb, which is currently going on, we're looking at a 30 grand refurb because we've actually changed the staircase around to make it from a 2-bed to a 3-bed, which adds value. The ceiling price is conservatively at 155.
Okay, so then they're going to refinance, pull some money out and just rent this out to a tenant, are they?
Yeah, that's the strategy that I recommend for my clients because they can recycle their funds and then they can go again. Touch wood, and he shouldn't have to touch this for the next 10 years plus.
Obviously, the area that people invest in is quite important as well. What made this property stand out?
So this one, it was close to amenities. Castleford Escape is not far from here, less than a mile, and that's got a train station. There's an Asda, there's an outstanding high school, and there's a good primary school that's local as well.
Perfect. So then obviously your investor's property is going to appreciate over the years as well, and he's going to make money off the back of that too.
100%, yeah. It's a win-win on this property, to be fair.
So we've just pulled up outside of another property that Karl's actually managing for another client of his. Let's go inside and take a look. So come to this property, obviously a lot higher standard than the last one we're at. This is about a week away from completion, right?
Yes, so the painter's currently coming in and out, sorting out the paintwork. We've just started the floor today. That should be finished tomorrow, and there's a bits and pieces in the kitchen to be done as well.
Nice. And what sort of figures is your investor expecting on this one?
So the figures on this one is purchase price 117, refurb cost is 26, I believe. The end value is 170, and the rental is 850. That, and they're all conservative numbers. What we focusing on is adding value to the property. So we put new kitchen in, put new flooring in. Electrics is signed off. Gas, it's actually a new boiler in this one.
Nice.
Yes, so the gas engineer, he signed that off. Fresh plaster everywhere. The paint is at a good standard as well, because we don't want to keep coming back here touching up, so it's a good standard of paint. The flooring is hardware and it's SPC. It's not the bog standard laminate, so we've upscaled that. The kitchen is from Magnet, and it's got the soft close doors and everything, and it ties in with everything on all the colours and finishes.
So as much as people say that landlords and investors are coming in, buying properties, taking all the properties off the market and just rinsing it for as much money as possible, you're actually buying unlivable properties, you're finding them on the market, you are transforming them into family homes. Yes, people are making money out of it, but if you didn't do that job, no first-time buyer or young family is going to be able to come in because they need to spend 20, 30, 40,000 pounds on each one of these properties.
Yeah, 100%. The country needs private landlords, and we need the properties to be at a good standard, and that's what we're here to provide.
So obviously with big refurbs like this, when you go in sort of back to brick and then bringing it up to a modern standard, where do you focus most of your attention on for that refurb?
So our main area of focus is pretty much the plastering of the walls, because we like to have that smooth finish and the clean, fresh look. So hopefully we can attract better tenants that can look after the property and get a better return on cash employed as well.
What other areas are important to you throughout the house as well?
So the main two is kitchen and bathroom, because that sells a property to the tenants. So it'll be attractive if we've got a new kitchen, new bathroom and new flooring throughout as well.
So just want to say thanks for showing us around a couple of your clients' property today. Definitely some interesting projects that we've been to. We spoke a bit earlier about how you bought that first property, but we didn't really talk about how you funded that. What was that? Was that just like personal savings, was it? How did you get started?
Yeah, it was personal savings. And when I managed to save about £15,000, that's when I decided to invest in property myself. But even at that point, I didn't realise or understand that you needed a 25% deposit. That's why I reached out to my brothers to see if they'd invest in property with me. And one of my brothers said, no, I'll make more money in stocks and ISAs than you will do in property. My other brother said, I've got no cash. And my other brother that was travelling, which is our Ryan, he said, yeah, here's some money, go invest it. So then that's allowed us to buy his first property. From our background as well, we both had humble jobs. We both didn't hit the lottery or anything. We were both lifeguards I was a lifeguard for 10 years. He was a lifeguard for many years. And then I worked in IT, not in on a lot of money, but I've just managed to save money, and that's allowed us to build.
So obviously we talked about how you started. What's your current portfolio looking like now?
So our portfolio consists of 8 buy-to-lets.
Nice.
In and around Leeds and Wakefield area. Combined value of that is 1.2 million.
And you do that with your brother, you've built that with your brother, right?
Yes, I have. It's all split 50-50 with him.
And if you don't mind me asking, what sort of monthly cash flow is that bringing you?
So that's bringing us over £4,000 cash flow.
Nice.
Yeah, me and my brothers managed to quit our jobs last year. Now we just live off the profits of our rentals.
Nice. So you are financially free by means of paying all the bills through your portfolio.
Yeah, correct. Yeah.
Lovely stuff. And would you say that's been a struggle to get to that?
I wouldn't say a struggle. It's different challenges, and it's just taken a lot of time.
What would you say is the biggest lesson you learned? Because we touched earlier on, you said it took 4 years to refinance your first one. What was the steps you took to then be able to scale that a bit more efficiently?
So the first one took us 4 years, as you said, but that was because we didn't know any strategy. We didn't know a lot about property. I just wanted to get into property and start investing. I decided to get myself educated, and then that's when I realised that you could refinance and then buy another property. Then you could refinance again, buy another property, and then eventually, when we got really educated by spending a lot of money on education, we found out that you can raise finance and use other people's money and use bridging loans, and that's how we scaled faster.
Okay, so you utilize finance with investors and stuff like that, or
Yeah, we've got some angel investors, and we've raised over 125,000
nice?
in angel funds, and yeah, we give them a guaranteed return on investment
Yeah,
for the year, and they're happy with their returns, and it helps us grow our portfolio faster as well.
perfect, perfect. And what would you say the number one lesson for anyone starting out or looking to scale their portfolio is in 2025?
So for first, I would say get some education, because that'll allow you to pick out your strategy and look at your long-term goal and then work backwards.
Mhm.
So I would say education, but if you're a bit busy like my clients are, then I'd look to other people to see if they can help you tap into their knowledge and their experience and their mistakes that they've made over the years, and see if you can learn off of them.
So thank you once again to Karl for showing us around some of his projects that he's managing for his clients. I hope you found some real value taking a tour around those properties, learning from an experienced investor like Karl. Be sure to leave a comment below with anything that you might be struggling with within the property investment space, and we'll be sure to create some truly valuable content based around those struggles. And if you're keen on investing in property, I'm going to leave a link in the bio to our WhatsApp community. It's free to join. We're going to send deals into that WhatsApp community that actually stack, so you can feel confident investing in those properties.